Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and let's talk Donovan Mitchell. The New York Knicks and the Utah Jazz, we all know they started to talk about a potential trade like last week, a week and a half ago, and there's a lot of reports that's coming out. So in this video, I want to give you guys my updated thoughts of what's going on, the latest news about the New York Knicks, and what the expectation is if a deal is going to get done. When is it going to get done? We also heard a report from Tony Jones that the New York Knicks are trying to hold on to Quentin Grimes, even though the Jazz have a lot of they have a lot of interest in Quentin Grimes. And also, we heard from Woj yesterday that it does feel like this might take some time, and that right now the Utah Jazz, they're testing the market elsewhere. They talked to the Knicks already. The Knicks made their offer, and now the Utah Jazz are scanning the market to see what other offers are there, if there's any offer that could potentially top the New York Knicks. So in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts of all these reports and my thoughts of the updated news regarding Donovan Mitchell. Before we hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to Knicks Media, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Got a lot of Knicks content coming your way leading up until training camp. And please, I am inching close to 10,000 subscribers, so do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you are interested in getting up-to-date news here on Knicks Media. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the video. Greatly appreciate it. And of course, most importantly, do not forget to comment your thoughts of the latest Donovan Mitchell news. Are you interested to give up a lot of players and picks like the Utah Jazz are interested with the New York Knicks in order to get Donovan Mitchell spider home to New York City? Love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. So first, let's talk about Tony Jones's reports. He was on a podcast yesterday, and he had a lot of interesting things to say. I'll leave the link down below to the description of what Tony Jones had to say on that podcast if you guys want to hear it for yourself. But basically, what Tony Jones said from The Athletic is the Knicks do not want to get robbed. They just simply do not want to go all in and trade for Donovan Mitchell and leave Donovan Mitchell here with the Knicks with nothing. And that's basically the consensus around the NBA. We all knew that the New York Knicks are trying their best to not get absolutely bamboozled by Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz, because we saw what the Jazz tried to get from the Knicks originally, and that was RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, 3 first-round picks. Knicks declined, and then we hear the report 6 first-round picks, Grimes, Quickly, Obi, and McBride. That was declined according to a bunch of rumors. So now we're at an interesting situation where the Knicks definitely made their offer. We do not know what the Knicks are willing to give up. We do not know what the Knicks are offering the Utah Jazz in terms of who's included in the trade, who's not included in the trade, how many picks. We're not too certain. We can make some hypothetical scenarios and guesses of what the trades are, but we just do not know for certain what the Knicks are looking to trade. But we do know is that the Knicks do not want to get rid of Grimes at all. That's apparently from Tony Jones. He did not say Obi, he did not say Quickly. He said the Knicks are trying their hardest to retain Quentin Grimes in a Donovan Mitchell trade. Now, this makes a lot of sense because what Quentin Grimes did in the Summer League was absolutely awesome. And of course, not only in the Summer League, but Grimes showed a lot of potential in his rookie season for the New York Knicks. His first NBA start against the defending champion Bucks at the time, he dropped 27 points, and his defensive ability is extremely valuable in a Tom Thibodeau team. And then his offensive repertoire is only developing. I feel like Grimes is becoming a 3-level scorer. He can handle the ball. We know that he's a lights-out shooter. He can attack the paint now. He can size people off the dribble. So Grimes has a lot of upside, and it feels like the Knicks are doing everything they can to keep Quentin Grimes. But it gets tricky because the Jazz, they're very interested in Grimes as well. They also have interest in Obi Toppin as well. But he did not mention Emmanuel Quickly's name, so I don't know where he stands in terms of if the Knicks are trying to hold on to him or the Jazz are trying to take him away. I'm not too sure. But in this podcast that I'm referencing, Tony Jones said that the Knicks do not want to get rid of Grimes, but the Jazz, they want Grimes, and they also want Obi Toppin. So that is really interesting stuff, because I feel like if the Knicks want to get a deal done for Donovan Mitchell, they're unfortunately going to have to get rid of at least one of Obi, Quickly, or Grimes, if not 2 of the 3. Preferably, I'd like to keep all 3 of those and just package more picks. That's what I would do if I was the Knicks, but I don't know if the Jazz would even accept that. But the one thing that people need to realize that's the most valuable asset that the Knicks have in a Donovan Mitchell trade is all the draft picks. And no, it's not all the 4, protected picks that we have. The Knicks, if they really wanted to, and this is what the Jazz want, they want the Knicks unprotected first-round picks. Now, what does this mean? That we give up our own first-round picks that's unprotected. So if we get in the lottery next year, that's the Jazz picks. The Jazz look at the Knicks unprotected first-round picks as the most valuable assets that we have, because that means that it doesn't matter where the pick lands. That is the Utah Jazz pick, and we know that Utah wants to build through the draft. Next year's draft class is absolutely stacked, so they really want to go all in. The more picks, the better in terms of building through the draft. So if the Knicks really want to make sure that they get Donovan Mitchell, they're going to have to give up at least 3 unprotected of their own first-round picks, in my opinion. And then on top of that, all the other picks that we have, like from the other teams, like the Dallas pick, potentially Charlotte's pick, those are protected. But I really feel like if the Knicks want to get the deal done for Donovan Mitchell, they're going to have to give up 3, if not 4 unprotected first-round picks. Now, that's a big price. That is a lot of picks because you're sacrificing the future draft capital for this Knicks team. You're sacrificing an opportunity to build through the draft and still having some flexibility in the future of making potential moves. So if the Knicks do want to go all in for Donovan Mitchell, they're going to have to go all in terms of giving up those draft capital. But my whole perspective of this is it's either you hold on to your players now and you give up more picks, or you give up less picks and you give up some players now. So if I'm the Knicks, which I'm not, I'd prefer them giving up more draft picks and being able to hold on to more of our players, because when you have the whole perspective of building through the draft, right? The Knicks have been doing that for the past couple of seasons. We draft Mitchell Robinson. He finally gets an extension. First Knick since 1992, I believe, or something like that, since the Knicks give a draft pick a second contract. And then we draft RJ Barrett the next year. And then we draft Obi Toppin and Emmanuel quickly the next year. And then we get Quentin Grimes, McBride, and Jericho Sims the year after. So the Knicks have been building through the draft. So when it comes to sacrificing draft picks, in my perspective, I'd prefer to give up the future draft picks than the players we already drafted and developed on the team right now. So if the Knicks can do everything they can, if they can give up more draft assets, if that means they can hold on to Grimes, Toppin, and Quickly, or potentially 2 of those 3 players, and they have to sacrifice a little more draft picks, I would absolutely do it, because we do not want to bring in Donovan Mitchell and all of a sudden we do not have a bench anymore. All of a sudden, off the bench is just is a bunch of veterans. So that's the really interesting thing that the Knicks are going to have to do. And we also hear from Woj that this deal might take some time. It's not going to be a done deal by tomorrow or the next week. It's going to be a process that's going to happen for the next couple of weeks, because right now the Utah Jazz, they're looking at other offers around the NBA. They got the Knicks offer. They have a good understanding of where the Knicks are at in terms of the offer that they're willing to give up for Donovan Mitchell. So now the Utah Jazz and Danny Ainge are probably calling up other teams that are interested, which there's probably a lot of teams that are interested in Donovan Mitchell. And the Jazz are trying to see, is there another trade scenario out there that can top the Knicks? And I feel like there's not going to be a team that can top the Knicks offer, even based on what the Utah Jazz want from the Knicks. We do not know what the Knicks are offering. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's no reports for sure of what the Knicks are offering in terms of the exact amount of picks and the exact players that they are offering. But we do know, contractually speaking, we're going to have to give up one of Evan Fournier or Derrick Rose, and a combination of either Cam Reddish, McBride, Toppin, Grimes, Quickly. Not all those players, but a combination of 2 of those guys mixed in with a veteran like Evan Fournier or Derrick Rose. I prefer them to trade away Fournier over Rose, because I feel like Rose still has a lot of valuable veteran presence and has that Tom Thibodeau mindset that would be helpful for this young team. But yeah, guys, that's the latest news and the latest reports about the Donovan Mitchell situation regarding who the Knicks are trying to keep. They're definitely trying to keep Grimes. The Jazz are interested in Grimes and Toppin for sure. And that the Utah Jazz really look at the Knicks unprotected first-round picks in a high regard, and that's why they really want to send Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, is for that reason. But my instincts tells me that this deal does get done leading up to training camp to the New York Knicks. That's just me being hopeful. That's not me having any inside sources. I do not. I'm just trying to say and trying to wish it into the world, baby. Bring Donovan Mitchell's Spider home to New York City. Let me know your thoughts of the video. Let me know your thoughts of all the latest reports regarding Donovan Mitchell down below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Please do not forget to like the video if you guys enjoy. I greatly appreciate that. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Let's go Knicks. Peace out.